Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 446. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley, Carlos Romero, Emilio Lopez sliding in. Got Adam Vale in the house. And we have a special guest joining us once again, Mr. Riku-san, one, the only one. Yeah, and I saved the best for last, man. He is back, people. Mr. Brian Manjoma. Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. Brian, how you been, man? You already regaled us with the story, but if you want to tell the fans what's been going on in your world, please feel free to.
Exoprimal and stress.
Yeah. By
basically,
the way, Brian, I gotta cut you off. I'm a fucking idiot. I forgot to unmute you guys. Intro again.
Gotta do this again.
Yep, gotta do it again.
Yeah. And my camera's coming on.
Yeah, man, get the camera on. Right, sorry
on.
about that, Brian. We'll start over again. You know. All right.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 446. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going? Wait a minute. There's one thing. Adam, tomorrow's a special day for you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after I do the intro, though. Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yeah, tomorrow's Adam's bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it is, man. Adam Vale.
Yeah, how you doing?
Cream of the crop. We got a special guest. It's been a while. Mr. Riku,
it's been a while.
The only one.
What's up, people? I'm back in this motherfucker.
Yeah, and speak about being back, man. Mr. Brian Manjoma is back, people.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Tony. Yeah, I just heard the news about 18.5 million, and I was like, that's a lot of numbers. So I need to talk about this.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, what's been going on in Brian's world, man? Were you saving the queen? What's going on? Well, the queen's dead. Like, you're saving the king now.
Lord?
You was
trying to resurrect the queen.
Yeah, news it travels slow across the pond. We just found that shit out. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on, wait, real quick. Brian's back. Give this man the horns, Carlos. Let's go.
One second.
You got to give the man the horns. All right, man. Go. What's going on, Brian?
What's going on? Stress, exoprimal, and more stress. Long story short, just do not buy a house because that stuff is so stressful. Like, I had no idea it's gonna be this bad, but yeah.
Yeah, and it never ends. That's the sad part. It never. Just like everything is great. Something else breaks. Something happens.
Yeah. By the way, that was a little bit of an inside joke. Like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Exoprimal, and we were like, "That sounds like a Brian game." And apparently, Brian was playing it while listening to that episode. So
yeah, I was literally playing it like on my Steam Deck. I was like, "Oh wow, like this is weird." Like a fifth wall break at that point.
Yeah,
like through space and time.
Yeah, I think I said that on the show too. I was like, I was offered the review code. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need that. I'm fine. But yeah, Brian, glad you're back, and you definitely circumvented all that Activision bullshit that we had to speak about for 2 fucking months. You know?
Oh man, yeah.
It just never seemed to end.
It never did.
Every day I just hear like something news, like, oh yeah, there's this and that, and then there was the court case, and then it's like Sony was there, Uncle Phil was there. I seen that Yakuza picture of Uncle Phil, that was hilarious. Yeah, it was insane. It went on for way too long, but yeah, it's done now. Fingers
I just want
crossed.
to see the movie. That's all I care. I want to see the movie. You know, once the strike is over, write a strike. Somebody's already writing. Someone's writing the script already, and they're like, "Oh, why should we bring you back?" And it's like, "Look what I wrote." Oh shit! Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Mighty Nerd, that was you actually. He's the one that asked if any of us are playing Exoprimal. We're like, nope, but Brian probably is. Sounds like a Brian game. And we were correct in our estimation there, you know. But yeah, Riku, what's been going on with you, man?
Man, man, just chilling, gaming. Not really gaming that much, honestly. I'm only playing one thing.
Uh-oh.
And reading, man, I'm out here with the books.
Yeah, man.
That's what I was gonna ask if you were still reading
They
those
call me
books.
Bookworm Son 1 in these streets now. It's
Bookworm.
crazy.
You're still making your way through the Wheel of Time, man.
Yeah, I just finished book 3, The Dragon Reborn, a week ago.
Yeah.
And I started up Mistborn book 4.
Oh shit.
So I'm, era 2. Man, I'm loving it, man.
Yeah,
Wax and Wayne, oh my god.
Yeah.
They are quickly becoming some of my favorite
we
characters.
got to talk about that because it's funny because a lot, not to get too off topic, even though Brandon Sanderson, is he's very affiliated with Epic Games and stuff. But yeah, because all the booktubers were like, I don't like Wax and Wayne or whatever. I read that book. I thought it was great. It was fun. It was different.
Yeah.
Very different. I like that.
Yo, I am really liking it.
Yeah. So,
I really like the humor too. Like, people are like, Brandon Sanderson doesn't really do humor that well. I'm like, humor is subjective as fuck. And it's hitting for him. Like, Wayne in particular. Dude's hilarious. I love him.
yeah. What's going on with somebody's couch back there? Anyway.
Yo, man.
Anyway,
Creaky couch.
Yeah. Anyway, this week, slow week. But we still got a couple things. We're gonna kick things off on a high. We're gonna do some financials for you, Nintendo financials. I'm gonna hand the floor over to Mr. Chris and let him tell us about what's going on with Nintendo's money.
Let him regale us with a Nintendo financial story.
Yeah, well, Nintendo apparently had a very good quarter. And the quarter that ended June 30th this year saw them with net sales of roughly 461 million yen, or actually that's billion yen, excuse me. And so that's up year over year over last year, where they were at roughly 307 billion yen, and that were operating, and that was a net negative of sales. The sales were down last year. This year they picked up. I think that according to their notes, they attribute it to Zelda having a great start, actually. So by the end of the quarter, Tears of the Kingdom has sold 18.51 million units worldwide.
Damn.
And they state that the April release of the Super Mario Brothers movie positively impacted sales of Mario-related titles, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe recording 1.67 million units for the quarter. So cumulatively, it's the highest selling Switch game. It's at 55.46 million units sold lifetime.
Bananas.
So they said that because of that, they actually had a boost in hardware sales as well. So their hardware sales year over year increased almost 14%. They sold 3.91 million Switch units, and software sales, they say, increased 26.1% over last year. So that's pretty big. They're having a good year so far. They're having a good year. I think the boost from the movie, because I mentioned it multiple times in this. I don't usually look at the mobile and IP, but they said that income from royalties and high level of audience engagement with the Super Mario Bros. Movie resulted in overall sales of 31.8 billion yen, which is an increase of 190% year over year.
Damn.
Which is crazy, right? Yeah. So mobile, they're doing well. Yeah, almost triple. And that's mobile, mobile and licensing. So obviously the licensing is going to do well. They've got a Universal deal. They're probably getting merch out. They had merch for the movie. And they have a new game coming out, and they've licensed Mario all over the place, and so their licensing business is booming. Yeah. So overall, like, I saw one thing which I was like, kind of, it's ridiculous, like fanboy stuff happening.
Uh-oh.
Where Zelda has sold, I think it's having record sales right now for a Zelda title in Japan. And I think for the first time ever with a concurrent or recent release of a Final Fantasy game or on the Zelda game, that Zelda has outsold Final Fantasy
Oh wow.
in that time period. But that's all. See, that's all arbitrary. That's just what I'm hearing. Like, I don't have data to correlate that. I'm sure Final Fantasy always does very, very well in Japan, and Final Fantasy 16 seems to be lagging behind previous titles. It's lagging behind 15 and and the other previous titles in terms of sales for the same period of time. Final Fantasy release on?
So wait, real quick. So what are
Do you remember?
the Nintendo? Oh, Final Fantasy was on PS5. It's only on PS5. So just quick question though. So what the Nintendo fanboys were like gloating or something?
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, Zelda's beaten Final Fantasy. It's a better game. But I saw all this crazy shit. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Now I know there's Zelda fanboys and there's guys who make guys I watch who get tips on the games, right? Because these guys play Zelda 24/7, so they know where all the secrets are and how to do exploits and duplication tricks and whatever. So I watch them. So one of the guys I watched, he put up a video and he said, "Oh, there's going to be a huge update for Tears of the Kingdom." I was like, "I got to hear this." Watch the video. It was nothing but fanboy, fucking, oh, it beat Final Fantasy in Japan and it sold 1.5 million units or something like that. I have to look at the breakdown of what it sold in Japan. But, he's going on, and Final Fantasy only sold this much. I think they both broke 1 million, but Zelda was slightly higher. But I think Zelda also released before Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
that's neither.
yeah. But here's something just real quick. Just put context to it, right? Thank you, Blitz, for saying this. He goes, "That's a dumb argument that's a dumb argument by fans since Switch in Japan has sold 40 million compared to 5 million PS5s."
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, that's
yeah.
also a great point.
So by that standard, Final Fantasy sold better proportionally. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, just had to toss that in there. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good context for that. But that's what I was seeing. That's when I first realized the numbers came out. Because when I saw this fanboy, I was like, what the hell? How did you, I was like, why is this guy talking about this? First, I was pissed because I was like, I thought there was some DLC or some patch he was going to talk about. No, it was just gloating about sales numbers in Japan. I'm like, wait, see, he knows the sales numbers in Japan. And I went to the investor relations and saw that they had put out the report. So
I just find it
I'll
funny how
have a
like Nintendo fans like they're always like, oh, we're doing our own thing. We don't worry about the other consoles. But as soon as they get a little victory, they're like, we're better at like fucking dumbasses, man.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous. So I was kind of annoyed about that,
Yeah.
especially since I thought there was some kind of news, not financial news. I thought it was some news about the game, but it wasn't. Just fanboy bullshit. Anyway, so Nintendo so far having a great quarter. Apparently, they've had a major boost in sales, not just from Zelda, but really the Super Mario Brothers movie has been a huge marketing boon for them in terms of pushing mobile sales. Like you heard, 190%. Like Carlos said, that's almost triple last year in terms of mobile sales, and that's engagement with older mobile games, right? So that's nuts. The licensing, of course, has increased because of the success of the movie, and they're, full steam ahead. You're going to have either late next year or early 2025. You're going to have Epic Universe open in Florida, and that's going to have another Super Nintendo World in it. So that's going to be huge. So they have a lot of positive things
Wait, that's
outside
opening
of
next year?
gaming. Well, Epic Universe, I think, is ahead of schedule, so it's possible they open it late next year. That's speculation. The date is 2025, right? That's the official
Okay.
from Universal.
I have a
But
question.
yeah.
Why is it called Epic? Does anyone know?
I
No.
don't know.
Just found it curious. But By the way, and also just wanted to mention there's this whole thing going around, and I don't know who's spreading these rumors, but I've been seeing them in places. The whole thing about the Switch 2 or the Switch successor or whatever.
Yeah, I purposely
I
didn't
blocked
put that
that
in the
out.
show notes because it's just rumors right now.
Rumors.
But go ahead. What do you want to say about that?
Well, I just found it curious that all of these rumors started coming out right after or during the earnings report for Nintendo. Especially
we heard
since we
that-
haven't gone. Okay.
No, I was just gonna say we heard that before. Remember with the dock when they were like, "Oh, the dock." We found out when you tear it down that it supports 4K, so it definitely means that there's going to be another Switch and it's going to use this dock 4K. Whenever they can find any reason to spread a rumor about this thing, they will.
Yeah, it could be. I just found I don't know. I just found a larger amount of people talking about it than normal. So I was just, and I saw the earnings report came out. So I'm like, something come out during that time, or am I just reading too much into silly rumors?
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
dismissed all that stuff. Go ahead, Chris.
yeah, their forecast for the rest of the fiscal year hasn't changed in terms of their projections for hardware sales and software sales. Even though they've had a boost, they haven't changed their projections. But they list that's happening, like they're like, okay, we recently released Pikmin 4. We're releasing Super Mario Brothers Wonder in October, Super Mario RPG in November, and then there's some DLC coming for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And that's all they list for the rest of 2023 in terms of games.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, shout out to Brett who snuck in through the back door.
What up?
Hey, Brett, Brian's back.
What is that? Is Brian and is that Riku?
And Riku.
Mhm.
Yep, got him.
Hi, how's it going?
I picked a hell of a time to not show up. What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
Yeah,
We got
good,
here.
good. I just got back from my secret takeover the world meeting. Yeah, we're good.
Nice.
Any day now.
All right. Anyway, go on, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much else to say on this. Like, it's a quarterly report, so it's very condensed. Will be interesting. Like, I'll do. Sony has their call next week, so hopefully those numbers will be out by the 9th. I think the investor calls on the 9th, and they should release the statements with it. Then I'll look at that. And then what we have to do is wait for Q4 to end. I'll do that. And the big thing is to see how well they do through the end of the year. Like, they've had a big push now, and that's good for them. Like, that the Super Mario Brothers movie has done that well for them, that it has not only boosted licensing, but it's boosted sales of, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 1.67 million units just this quarter, and it's like, this game is a Wii U port that's been out for like 6 years, and and just because of the movie, it's selling. So
Chris, what you're saying is basically the Mario movie succeeded at doing what basically every video game movie that ever existed tried to do, which was basically make the overall franchise financially benefit from its existence.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. While everybody else tried, right, with video game movies, who didn't, right? For how many, 30 years? When did Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins come out? Like, that's the last time they tried to make a movie, right? And that was a abysmal failure. They have not done anything ever again. And as Carlos would say, they take toe dips. Like, they'll commission like an anime studio to make something small, and that went on Nintendo Video, and now it's lost. They did a Star Fox animation, that's lost. But they never committed to, like, and even if you don't trust Hollywood, right? They never committed to say, hey, we're gonna go to a major anime studio or a live action, and we'll make something here. They never did it. They just never did. And this is the first time they've put out a major brand in theaters, right? And the gamble paid off. It wasn't much of a gamble. It's Mario, right? It's hard to fuck that up, but they did it, and it did very well. and it's doing well enough that it's increasing engagement with everything Mario. There's toy sales, there's increased licensing, there's mobile sales, and so that it has done
Do you think?
fantastic well.
Well, I think it seems like it's a no-brainer. But do you think this is going to open up the door for other IPs that they own? Like they're like, hey, you know
Well,
what? Maybe we should bring a few others to the big screen too.
Yeah, there's rumors that Illumination is going to work on a Zelda movie, but that's just a rumor. I don't know with other titles. Like they're definitely
Metroid.
well, I think they're going to play it safe. I would love to see a Metroid. I mean, a lot of people would. I don't think they're going to touch Metroid. I think what they're going to do is stick closer to Mario. Like they'll take a chance on Zelda, but they won't take a chance on anything else. Like we're not going to get a Punch Out movie or a or F-Zero. Yeah. So what they did introduce in this movie was they crossed it over with Donkey Kong. So that's where I think they'll do another movie is make a Donkey Kong specific movie. Yeah.
Did anyone see the movie?
Yeah, I saw it.
That's Adam's favorite movie of the year, man.
I love it. Yeah, I've seen it multiple times.
By the way, real quick.
Yeah, I saw it too. It's pretty good.
Blitz goes, wait for those GT7 numbers to explode after the GT movie.
That's up this week. I'm seeing it right now.
Oh man. All right. Anything else, Chris? What about the financial news?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm curious to see, Sony's numbers, and then we just have to wait and see. Like they've done well. I predict since they haven't changed their forecast, the only thing I can say is that the rest of the year looks a little rough, and you can only get a boon from this movie from so long, and then things will start to fall off. Like Zelda sales will start to saturate and fall off, and we'll see if it hits Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild sold over 30 million lifetime so far, so we'll see if this approaches it, which has a little ways to go, but it'll probably beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I think that's at 22.5 million worldwide. So we'll see, but they are keeping things modest with their forecast. I'm surprised, but they said no changes in the forecast, which I already read the forecast last time from the Q2 numbers, and it was way reduced in terms of hardware and software sales from previous year. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, just to think about 18.5 million copies in what?
Is that counting digital?
3-4 months?
Because I heard something that they don't count digital. Something's up with Nintendo.
Oh no, they'll count whatever they can to add those numbers.
No, they're counting digital sales. It's in the report too. You can see digital sales.
They even count when people look at it in stores. Like everything gets counted. It's crazy.
They even count when
like here's the thing. I get that game selling well, but I still don't understand how the Switch keeps selling well. Like I legit don't understand.
It has there's kids all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
you're right. Kids are born every day. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Tony, let me also throw in there.
Well,
just like
it's practically disposable.
Yeah, that's.
I could throw something in there too.
What's up?
And I've said this multiple times in regards to the Nintendo Switch. It's the fact that the Nintendo Switch did what no other. The Nintendo Switch made Nintendo do something that we probably never thought that they would do prior to this generation, and that is combined their home console demographic with their handheld demographic, which has been separated since the 80s.
Mommy!
So it's so with them basically taking the Potara rings and fusing them together, if there's one thing that has always sold consistently well since its existence, is the handheld demographic for Nintendo. Yep. Game Boys have always sold, and that demographic, that Game Boy demographic, is a part of the Switch. When it comes to their home consoles, it's always been like iffy. Nintendo 64 didn't really sell that well. Wii U didn't really sell that well, but the handhelds have always sold well. And they have. When you look at Switch numbers, you have to take into consideration that this is a handheld demographic and the home console demographic, that both of them combined, it's like, yeah, it's gonna sell well better than any platform that they've had prior.
Well, I'll ask you this, because it has a while to go to catch the DS. The Switch now is at 129.5 million units.
It is
worldwide.
You also have to take into consideration it is more expensive than that. The 3DS, which one you said, the DS or the 3DS?
The DS.
And also,
DS is at 152 million worldwide.
And Chris, before you continue that, for me, and I don't know about you, the 3DS and the DS are pretty much it's like a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right. I agree
Somewhat.
with you. I mean, they added the 3D screen or whatever, but it's essentially a DS. But if you merge all those numbers together, then the climb is almost insurmountable. If you added 3DS sales, which I think is over 75 million units lifetime, to the DS, which is 152 million, and then you're at 216 million. And then it's like, well, will the Switch catch that? I don't know. I doubt it.
I think another thing to take into consideration is, and I was talking to my friend about this the other night, the Switch, like I said, in regards to their handheld demographic, their Game Boys and their handheld demographic has always been treated like a secondary or even tertiary gaming platform device. And what I mean by that is your average gamer, their primary platform, let's say, it would be a home console, which would be like a PlayStation, an Xbox, a PC, maybe a Nintendo home console, right? That would be their primary thing. Their secondary platform will sometimes be a home console that they don't really play as much as their primary. They may turn it on for the exclusives. So, for example, during the 360 era, a lot of people had 360s. They sometimes turned on their PlayStation 3 whenever an exclusive came out, So that would be their secondary home console, right? And then, people sometimes they had a Wii on the side. And then they would have their tertiary platform, which most of the time is a handheld, which would be a Game Boy. Everybody had a Game Boy. Everybody had, Pokemon. Well, most people, So if you lay it out like that, right? In the current generation that we are in right now, people have their primary platform, which would be a PS5, probably, a PC. And if you're a weirdo, probably your primary console is the Xbox Series X, right? The point is, most people have a Switch on the side. That is their secondary platform, their secondary handheld that they will play when A Legend of Zelda comes out, right? So everybody has at least a Switch on the side. Whether you're an Xbox guy, a PC guy, or a PlayStation guy, you probably have a Switch on the side, Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So everybody basically has one, and it's like,
yeah. Oh, there's also people who get multiple. There's people who get collector's versions. Like they put out a tiers of
collector's versions. That Switch Mini that came out a year or so ago.
Yeah, there's people they went to Switch Lite and they're like OLED.
Switch Pro. OLED. Well, not the Switch OLED. The Switch OLED. Yeah, I know someone that has all three versions. Another thing I want you guys to take into consideration: this is the Switch's lifespan now recently became the longest living console platform that doesn't have a successor yet, with 8 years going strong.
8 years?
8 years.
Thought it's been 6.
Yeah,
2017? 6?
Yeah, that's 6.
That's 6.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I think it's the longest for Nintendo. Actually,
it might be for Nintendo. I mean, the NES was long. Wasn't the NES pretty long though?
No,
84. Let me see. I'll do research.
Yeah. But if it's 84 to 91 or 90, actually,
83
to 90, right? Because we're going by Japan.
83 to 90,
right, Carlos.
Yeah, we're going by Japan.
Japan numbers. Yep.
Yeah, because remember,
83 to 90, so that's 7 years. Yep.
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, so not the longest yet.
Okay, so it's pushing it, right? So because didn't like a room didn't something come out about them about to come out with one next year or something like that?
Yeah, that's the rumor that they're going to come out with a Switch 2 apparently.
A rumor,
but again, I considered talking about that on the show tonight, but I still think it's flimsy. I don't think it's worth talking about.
Yeah,
you know.
Understandable.
When we hear more concrete stuff, we'll obviously talk about it. But it just seemed because again, we've also been hearing about the Switch 2 almost since the Switch 1 came out because the original was so fucking underpowered, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we'll talk about it when we have enough. You know,
we'll talk about that. And shout out to Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. is in the chat who brought up a quick comment here. I don't have a Switch and I have no plans to get one. So respectfully, I disagree with my boy Riku that everyone has one.
You know,
I don't have.
I said basically everybody has one.
Yeah, a lot.
No, you switched it.
Yeah,
you switched it around.
Okay.
But I do.
Rico, I'd be like, well, actually.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
You know, that deep glasses.
I mean, I'll have a Switch if you buy me one, Riku.
I do. I don't know who either Brett or Riku said this, but I even though it sounds harsh, but this is the most disposable of the consoles. I mean, when you buy a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, it's more of like a
that's an investment.
Yeah, it feels like an investment. Or
yeah, dude. What are you going to give your 9-year-old?
Yeah, exactly. Like a kid that's needs to distract themselves from jumping all over the place. A Switch is something that is a lot more accessible for people to get, and you won't feel. And the whole disposable part is like you don't feel bad if they break it or just throw it around places.
Like that, as opposed to like an iPad or like that.
It's a very nice way of saying I'm gonna make some people else here. The Nintendo is kind of baby's first system.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, has it ever not been?
Right.
That's very true.
I tried to do something in the GameCube, but
I say no disdain because it was my first system. Like that's where I got my leg.
It's the Disney of game consoles. It's just what it is, plain and simple. Makes family
there's also the Apple of game consoles as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like. I mean, that's usually in general in marketing. That's what you want to head for. That's why PG-13 movies are such a big thing these days, because people can take their families and they don't need to be like soulless rated G movies.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Work.
Yeah, so it's being being smart. It's being smart, and that's just the way it is. I know a lot of people are like home and hum over family entertainment, but that's where the money is. Kids and adults, kids at heart, and kids.
Yeah, by the way, Blitz just said a very controversial statement.
Oh.
He said, right now, I'd give up my PS5 over my Switch.
Well, I don't blame you.
Super controversial.
I mean, to be honest, like here's the thing: it's the big difference for you is that you're getting more out of your Switch than your PlayStation 5, right? So, I mean, it only makes sense for you, right? So,
you guys own Zelda games. That's
Like, my brain literally can't parse that, but hey, to each their own,
Well, I mean, like,
I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 2. You ain't getting that on the Switch.
Give me that.
I mean, Tony, you say it yourself. It's like if you like something, then make the worth of something. You don't need us. You don't need anybody else to tell you what.
I understand it on an intellectual level, but for me, like, why would you?
No, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, why would you choose a clearly inferior product over some better? But hey, you're getting your games, and let's just be honest, we've had struggles with that this generation. So I can respect.
I'm trying to see it from an intellectual standpoint.
It's also always and what do we always say? It's never really the console. It's always been the software, and Nintendo's doing what they're supposed to do. They're putting out attractive software to get people to jump on their console.
Yeah, for people.
And they're not throwing it on PC.
Yeah.
And they're not throwing it on PC. They have pure exclusives. They are the only ones who make pure exclusives these days.
Yep.
Which is funny. Nobody will drill them about calling them anti-consumer.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works?
No. How it works. Because because all the because we have it's funny, the childish console, right? And you have a bunch of people on the other sides acting like a bunch of stupid children.
I have to be that guy, man. Like, if you just want to distract your kid, why buy a $300 console when you could just buy like a fucking Amazon tablet for less than $100?
Because it doesn't have.
I mean, you could ask your you could ask your parents. You could ask. We could all ask our parents that. But we weren't. They didn't
have tablets back in the day, though.
No, well, they did have handhelds when we were kids, and we had consoles and stuff. So why buy a $60 videotape for a kid to only keep them occupied for an hour? People figure out the worth of their certain things just find their own worth.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm like,
what was it?
$300 isn't exactly disposable, but to some people it is, I guess.
Well, I mean, but neither was the original price of the Game Boy.
Yeah, that wasn't disposable though. Like you had that Game Boy, like you weren't just like, hey, let's buy 5 Game Boys for the family.
Yeah, but remember you said your mom let the school take it away from you.
Oh, that was because I was a fucking asshole, Because
I know, but still, my mom even she would take it away from me and hide it in a closet where I'll be punished.
And the shit was already like 7 years old at that point. The Game Boy was,
Oh.
It wasn't brand new. I was 15 when that happened, and I got the Game Boy when I was 9. But yeah, again, power to Nintendo and their fans, man. I sold my PS4 Pro for a Switch, no regrets. So logic wins. I can respect that. Listen, if you're getting your enjoyment, that's what counts, man.
Yep. Play those Nintendo games.
Play those Nintendo games. Let's go.
Just not on your TV, your 4K TV.
Yeah, they look like. Ugh. That's what stopped me. Like, I was playing the Switch on my when I had a 1080p TV. When I went to a 4K, I'm like, I can't do this. It stopped me dead. I'm like, nope, I cannot fucking do this. Horrible.
What happened to your What happened to your Bebop that got it to go 4K? What happened to that?
Oh no, that's the only reason I was able to play Metroid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still got that, but there's no games I would care about anymore. Like I know they got a new Mario game, but it's like, Manny, just like you with Final Fantasy 9, it's like I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm moved on.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. It was like I've already got a Sega Dreamcast. Why am I going to go back and play Final Fantasy 9?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I got a PS5 now. I don't need to be playing Switch anymore. We're done. Grown man gaming, as Gamer 2323 would say.
Grown man gaming.
All right, man. Let's move on here. Speaking about sales, Diablo 4 was the biggest selling game in June. No surprise there, I guess. See what.
Did they give us specific numbers?
Yeah, give me a sec here. Because God damn it, Forbes, why you fucking ad blocking shit?
Oh,
yo, man, they don't want you using that ad blocker.
Yeah. Let me bring up the IGN. I know they didn't use that shit. But yeah, it sold. I think Final Fantasy was up there too. Here we go. Diablo 4, June's best-selling game in the U.S. PS5 doing fantastically well. I'm just going to read what they wrote here. Diablo 4 was the best-selling game in June 2023 in the U.S. according to new data. Circana's U.S. video game market results for June 2023. Yo, man, what happened to NPDs, man?
What happened to old data? Old data was bad.
Yeah. It reveals Blizzard's action role-playing game is the third best-selling game of 2023 so far, behind Hogwarts Legacy and The Legend of Zelda. The stat comes as a surprise. Diablo is Blizzard's fastest-selling game with 10 million players. Hold on, 10 million players? Is that 10 million copies? Or am I bugging here?
Depends. I mean, it should, but sometimes they mess with numbers.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that means.
Some people might be selling the high
double dipping. Exactly. But how would they see
the launch of Diablo 4 even propelled Blizzard financials to new record levels. Final Fantasy 16, meanwhile, was the second best-selling game of June in the U.S. Its sales have become something of a battleground after Square Enix announced the PlayStation 5 exclusive sold 3 million copies during launch week. Square Enix told IGN these launch sales were extremely strong, but sources speaking IGN said sales had slowed considerably since then. Street Fighter 6 Was the third best-selling game in June.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, it is the 10th best-selling game of 2023 so far. Matt Piscatella, executive director of video games for Circana. Wait, did NPD become Circana because he used to work for NPD? I missed something here.
Is it Matt Piscatella?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's should be the same guy.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like, did NPD become Circana or did he go over to this company?
Not sure.
Somebody in the chat, let me know, please. Anyway, Matt Piscatella, executive director of video games for Circana, said Street Fighter 6's last month sales more than doubled those of Street Fighter 5, which came out. Yeah, well, for fucking obvious reasons. In fact, Street Fighter 6 enjoyed the highest launch month dollar sales for a fighting game since April 2019, with the launch of Mortal Kombat. That's pretty good. Street Fighter 6 sold 2 million copies in just over a month, which in recent note to investors, Capcom said was generally progressing in line with our expectations, adding it hope positive word of mouth would fuel follow-up success. It's aiming for more than 10 million sales over the course of the game's lifetime. They're going to do it because it's getting good word of mouth, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking at this article right now. IRI and NPD rebrand as Circana.
There we go. It all makes sense now.
Circana.
Okay, overall, strong sales of new releases and continued PS5 hardware strength led the U.S. video game market to grow 9% year on year. Okay. Piscatella said double-digit percentage growth in PS5 spending offset declines in spending on Xbox Series X and Switch platforms, which tallies with comments coming out of Microsoft and Nintendo, respectively, about the current performance of their consoles. Okay, so we got confirmation there. PS5 then is enjoying an incredible time in the U.S. Not only was it the best-selling console in both unit and dollar sales during June 2023, but consumer spending on PS hardware has reached its highest June total since 2008. Shit. Damn, that's crazy. 15 years. While unit sales were the highest achieved since 2010, PS5 continues to lead the 2023 hardware market across both units and dollars. Sony recently announced PS5 had sold 40 million. We talked about that on a previous show. Since it went on sale on November 20th, tracking slightly behind the PS4. Overall, consumer spending on video game content, hardware, and accessories reached $4.7 billion in June, the second highest spending ever achieved in the June month, trailing only 2021's $4.8 billion. Remember that year? That was crazy. First half spending totaled $26.6 billion, 2% of a year ago. See, that's what happens when we actually get games to play. You know, like this year, we actually started getting good AAA games. You know, and I think I have it in the show notes here. Later on, but the new Jedi game, the Jedi Survivor, despite all the craziness that's been going on with the performance issues, it's fucking selling like gangbusters, and which I believe
still coming.
Yeah, I think that's what spurred the decision to bring it to PS4. They're like, oh shit, it's selling this much on PS5, bring it to the last gen. Even though I personally think that's a horrible mistake, but you know. They see the dollar sign, so they're going to go for it, you know. They see lightsaber green, you know. But yeah, video games are selling very well. That's what happens when you get games, you know. Shit is coming. But again, I talked about this before. I found it ironic how in the year that we finally started getting games, we had to deal with this Activision bullshit sucking up all the bandwidth, you know. So we couldn't talk about them as much as we wanted to. I want to talk about Final Fantasy 16 so much. Now the conversation's over, you know. Fucking bullshit.
Should have did a spoiler alert, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's already over too. You know. But yeah, good stuff's going on in the gaming industry as far as money is concerned. Do any of you guys have any comments to say about this being one of the best years of this generation?
Meh. Is what it is.
Yeah. And so think about it, it's not over yet. Spider-Man's coming, you know.
Spider-Man.
Got to keep that momentum, yo.
Yeah.
Where's that Flash PlayStation already?
Yo, Carlos, when I see that shit, it looks like cicada, you know?
It does look like cicada. You have that sound going in on your head?
Yep. I'm like, hold on, there's an R is mixed in there somewhere.
Is it just Spider-Man and Starfield the biggest games, or?
Yeah, those are coming. Yeah, those are the biggest games coming out. I mean, if you guys have any other huge games that you can tell us about that are coming out this year, let us know. But those are the big ones, Starfield and fucking... I feel there's another one that's coming out this year that's big.
Yeah, I feel like there's one more.
Super Mario Wonder.
That's
the
devil
Mario
his due.
game.
That is one. But
Yeah,
no,
the
I'm
Mario
talking about like
game
a real, real game.
Lord?
Like a real game.
A real
It's Mario. What are you talking about? It's a real game.
A real game.
It's a Mia. What you mean?
Yeah, I make that money for Nintendo.
Yeah, you know that game
Mortal
gonna sell
Kombat's gonna be big.
gangbusters for no reason.
That's what I'm thinking about. BG3, what's that?
Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
is
yeah.
Gate.
Which came out today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did come out today, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is Tekken
Brett, are
coming
you
out this
playing
year?
it?
Is Tekken 8 coming out this year?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, it came out for PC today.
Oh shit, PC.
Yeah, the PlayStation release. And here's the thing that really upsets me: the answer to that, Manny, probably no. Believe it or not, as much as I fucking love the studio and the franchise, I'm probably not. I don't know when I'm even going to be playing this game. I'll probably be picking up at a Steam sale, which is fucked up, man.
But you're playing Remnant 2. You're busy.
Well, it's only like I don't have a PC that can really handle it. I have a Steam Deck, and that's not really going to be good enough. And then its PlayStation port is strategically just so happens to be releasing on the same fucking day as Starfield.
Oh shit.
So like, and then Xbox, because they're fucking, because they have the albatross of the Series S hitched to them. Larry can't even get like the game to run properly in co-op on the Series S. So that shit is just shackled and weighed down until question mark. Which, don't get me wrong. Like I love the studio. Like they even moved forward the release of the PC game a little bit. That's great. I feel like there's some fuckery with it. Like it feels weird to me. Like really, it just happens to be coming out on Starfield Day. Really, that's big old fucking coincidence. Can't tell. I'm a little upset about it.
Oh, Brett. By the way, I started Remnant 2.
Oh, what do you think?
It's good. I mean, I only made it to Ward 13. My daughter is bonkers, so I played a little bit. I got to Ward 13. I talked to Ford, and he told me some stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I trust you, and that's as far as I got.
Yeah, okay. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. I've actually just beat it myself, so like, I have a little bit more perspective on what the fuck it is I just played. What's that?
You finished the game already?
I didn't say I finished it. I said I beat it.
But the story, I thought it was they kept talking about like hours, 100-some hour story.
Bro, I went hard on this game. I think I already clocked in like 35 hours. Like I went hard. I went souls hard on this game. It was good. It was really good. And each time I came to a new world, I was like, man, I'm invested. Like fuck, I'm feverishly thinking about going back and getting it out. Like I beat it on the regular difficulty. Now I get to go do increasing difficulties until I can beat Apocalypse. The shit that I was planning on doing, like with Diablo, until it let me down.
Uh-oh. Well, you have was it Path of Exile? Is that the name of it, Brett? The Diablo
yeah. But Path of Exile is coming up on it real hard. And like honestly, when I was talking before, I was like, this is the Doctor Strange 1 in 10 million universe where I was like, bro, you're not doing well. You guys are losing ground to Blizzard because Blizzard Blizzard is losing ground to Path of Exile because like Blizzard is really showing that they, on the surface, it just looks like, haha, Blizzard's the fun police. They just don't like people having fun. They're willing, but in reality, it's one of those. So you're willing to let things that players consider damn near game breaking, huge pain in the ass quality of life improvements / fixes that you need to make. Like, for instance, the fact that Sorcerer doesn't scale resistances with their primary stat intelligence. That's been an issue. But somebody finds an XP farm, they get that patch the very next day. But the other stuff like the Sorceress not scaling well off resistances off intellect, keep in mind, resistances are like a good chunk of endgame. You need that shit. Sorceress can't do that. Still an issue, even though every time somebody finds out a gold farm or an XP farm, boom, they're in there like fucking magic. And that's really given a lot of people the impression that, despite I'm like, yo, it's all fun and jokes, haha, they're the fun police, but really, they seem incredibly out of touch with their player base, so much that it almost comes across as insult. No, it does. It comes across as insulting. It comes across as them deigning what they want to hand out and not listening to their consumers, and they are playing with fire there, man. So it's not just me. Ironically enough, I found a huge community of Diablo refugees in Remnant. A bunch of people were like, well, here's the hardest balls, climb up the ladder, create a build kind of action game I was looking for. So, cool. Bad move, Blizzard. This is like the one bastion where you guys still had a pretty solid installed fan base, and you have just ostracized them immediately and completely. Way to fucking go, Blizzard. That you had something that was genuinely fun, and you have just spit on anybody who comes to the table so often that people are just going, I'm not doing this again. I'm done. I'm just walking away. It's stupid and it's bullshit, especially on the back of a product that is frustratingly fun to play. I haven't changed my mind on that. Diablo 4 is fun for a while.
Until they fucked it up. What was I going to say? Lost my train of thought here. Anyway.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good. Anyway, video games. And the last thing, because I definitely want to ask you guys what you've been playing lately. Starfield will not be playable at Gamescom, which has caused some people to be like, wait, what's going on? Because the game comes out next month.
Yeah, September.
And Gamescom is like, what, next week? So, yeah.
But before you move on to that, man, like, we're talking about upcoming games, like, nobody mentioned Armored Core?
No.
That's another one.
That's confirmed.
That's coming out. August 25th,
okay,
I think.
Dude, it's like coming up in like a month.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett, I'm excited. I watched
couple weeks. We're already in August.
Yeah, Manny, the guy who does the lore, the Souls lore. Yeah, that guy. He got invited to a From Software event for Armored Core, right? Him and a bunch of other Souls players. They wanted them to try it, and they loved it, right? So it doesn't play like the old Armored Core games. It's very fast. It feels. I was watching it, and it's like, this reminds me of Sekiro, like how fast you're moving around, but only you're shooting missiles and shit all over the place.
That's crazy.
Like Zone of Enders. Remember how that moved?
Now you got my
very
attention.
fast.
Riku just perked up.
Yeah, Riku's like, shoot.
Oh yeah, Zoe.
Yeah, you're like boosting and like dodging all over the place, and you can
Damn straight.
customize your mech. Yeah.
Because fucking Konami won't give me it.
Yeah, right.
I'll be there.
Y'all talk about Zone of the Enders?
Yeah, man, that's my shit.
That's what I felt like. That's when I was watching the gameplay. I was like, wow, this guy's boosting around like Zone of Enders. He's moving, just like dodging missiles and then like blasting this guy. It's just fucking great. And then when that didn't work, he just like, he went in a garage. He's like, I'll take this cannon off and put this minigun on here, and I'll put this missile launcher on. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Crazy.
Fashion Souls with robots.
I would say that is an anticipated title coming out later this year.
Yeah. But my question to you guys is, should we be worried that Starfield will not be playable at Gamescom?
It's definitely concerning.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning for?
There's no good reason for it not to be there.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
No, it's going to be shown. It's just not going to be playable.
No, playable.
Yeah,
it should be playable.
Yeah, and because Microsoft is going to be at
This is
Gamescom.
Bethesda we're talking about.
Yeah, and Microsoft will have playable games on the show floor. Starfield ain't one of them.
They want,
want
the whole thing to be an experience, shared by the world.
Maybe.
How do you play Starfield in a demo amount of time?
The same way you play any game in a demo amount of time.
Most games aren't this type of game, though.
Was Fallout ever? Did they ever have Fallout as a playable demo?
At one E3 they did, didn't they? Like the Fallout 3 specifically?
I mean, I would be
wrong about that, but yeah.
I would not be surprised about Fallout.
Yeah, the thing I'm trying to bring is like they have playable demos of RPGs which are notoriously horrible. RPGs never demo well, so I'm like, it wouldn't be any different for this game, would it? You know?
Well, yeah, but you just said it yourself. Like it's not gonna demo well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could. You could take a slice of like shooting, like corridor shooting, and put people through that, but like you're not really gonna see an effective open world, make your own choices. Choices affect the you know, anything. Like you're not gonna get that. You're just gonna get kind of this shitty slice of it that's not really going to be indicative of a lot. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying that like it's a little weird that they're not showing it. I don't think this is a mass conspiracy to hide the failure of Starfield until after it's in people's hands or anything like that.
I'm glad you said it because that's exactly what the fanboys are saying.
Yeah, I know that that's what they're saying, but like what, that's going to be a very short-lived conspiracy, right? And like I can see it maybe in terms of like they're trying to control the narrative. They don't really know, like that's going to be the buggiest version ever. And if you give people true unfettered access, then they're going to find ways to break it and then talk about how they broke it because that's the news cycle. Like I guess all I'm saying is I don't know why that they didn't bring it. I don't think it's because of a grand conspiracy, but I also don't think that Starfield would really demo well. At the very least, you're going to show off like what? The shooting, which seems competent, seems passable, but it's not, you know, it's not what the game is known for, and it's not going to be the best shoot. Like, I don't expect this to be the best shooting handling mechanics fucking ever. And if that's what you're putting out there, that's what it's going to get compared to other games with. And then right before Starfield's release, you have everybody talking about what lackluster shooting it has. Like, I don't really see a situation where demoing it is going to do a lot of good, even without trying to hide stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to
It would have to be
paint the narrative.
It would have to be a controlled demo, like Todd Howard had. What the fuck was that?
Uh-oh. Someone's in trouble.
Yeah, man.
My bad.
So, Brett, it would have to be a controlled demo, like what Todd Howard did for Fallout 3, like in 2008. Like he played it for 20 minutes on G4 and showed.
He played it. He played it. That's showing. That's not like the open demo.
Yeah, no. But I get.
Well, they also.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I mean, Fallout 3, they did that long ass E3 demo as well.
That's what I'm talking. I'm specifically talking about that. You know, like he played that same demo live. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so people are just like. But Riku, you said that you find it a little concerning, right?
I think the only reason I found it concerning is because at the end of the day, the people who are interested in it want to play it, right? And they want to play it. They would like to play it early, and the people who are interested in it are people who are, for the most part, Bethesda people. So if there is any like little minor bugs here and there, I think they understand that will be the case. I think the concerning part is that I was specifically talking about in that regards is the state of the game. Because like I said, this is a Bethesda game, and we know how Bethesda games can go around its early stages of when it releases. And there is a possibility it's just not in a, relatively stable condition to even be demoed,
That's a really nice way of saying it. Maybe an unplayable piece of hot garbage.
No. I'm not saying it's, like I said, I'm not saying it's hot garbage, because Bethesda, people who like Bethesda games, they love it, and they will, live and die by the fact that these are genuinely top tier great games. Like, I understand that. I'm only talking about from a stability standpoint. I'm just giving you the shit. I think it's the same thing though. Like it. Yeah, no, just
it's in even if it's in a completely bad state, or even if it kind of towards your point or more towards my point, like even if there's just a few like glitches or bugs, like whether it's a lot or a little, it's gonna look bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even if it is the regular amount of bugs that you would see in your typical Bethesda game, the people who would be ready to demo it might not be the people that understand that this is a regular thing, and just for the overall zeitgeist for it, it just won't be a good look. You know, when being on the show floor and showing any possible bugs for, like, you know, in a showcasing state. You know.
Well, that's where the clicks are too. Like, if you could be like, you know, I tried Starfield early and it's completely broken. Like, that's just a click farm. Like, people are motivated.
It is
to
definitely
make drama, and that would be my concern in that situation. Like,
and the Sony ponies out there are, you know, they are blood, and they are fucking sharks in the water. They smell that blood, and you know it's gonna be leaking somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They are gonna attack.
Yeah, because there's that audience. Like, honestly, right now I could go out and just chat GPT any bullshit fake article about how terrible Starfield is, and PlayStation fans gobble that shit up. The clicks on that shit would be insane. So, like, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I'm not saying anything about the quality of the game, but what I am saying is, like, the motivation here to not show it is pretty apparent to me. I can see why. Like, it's a no-win scenario.
Yeah. By the way,
I think
Forza is also not playable at demo. That's weird. Like, it's a racing game. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know.
That is weird. That's definitely weird. That one, I would feel like that one's even. I feel like that one's even more weird than the Bethesda one.
Yeah, because they actually do demo well racing games, you know. But pretty interesting stuff.
Just get your race in, and
we'll see what happens out of Gamescom, you know. All right, and with that, let us move on to the games we have been playing lately. Manny, have you played anything in recent weeks?
Not really. I mean, I have some stuff waiting in the wings, but I can't exactly say I've been playing them. So, yeah.
All right.
I'll go next.
You are next in the line anyway for me. So go ahead.
I've been playing the same thing Manny has.
Yeah, you know.
Yo, man, you've been playing the greatest game ever made. Nothing.
Yeah.
So game of the year so far.
I'll go next because I'm just like those guys. I've been playing nothing. You know, I've been doing other things with my time. Riku knows what I've been up to. So,
yo man, are you hanging on the top of the Freedom Tower?
Yeah, man.
I saw them pictures.
Yeah, man. Top of the world. Like, I mean, fucking playing games for, like, when I'm testing PCs doesn't count, does it? You know,
what?
Does that count?
Unless it's a game.
I always play the same 3 games. Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk, and Spider-Man on PC. Because I want my test to be consistent. You know,
okay.
But no, after Final Fantasy 16, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good until Spider-Man. You know, there's really nothing else coming out. You know,
what about that possible DLC?
Cyberpunk. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. That's the big thing I'm waiting for this year. The motherfucking Cyberpunk DLC. There you go.
Phantom Liberty.
Yes. That's the big one. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Is the Spider-Mans and fucking Phantom Liberty. So it's good stuff, you know. And there's other games, but again, I'm working on something else, so I'm not playing games right now. Brett, what are you playing? Are you playing Path of Exile? Are you playing Diablo?
What aren't you playing?
Are you playing Remnant? You got a lot of shit on your plate, Brett.
Bro, I am eating so well right now. It is fucking ridiculous. The years of starvation and famine have paid off, and it is feast time. I am playing Valheim. I am playing Remnant. I am getting ready to start Path of Exile. I'm trying to figure out a way to play Baldur's Gate. I'm getting ready to play Armor Core. Like, it's just absolutely insane. I'm honestly forgetting about games that I'm playing until I pop them back on. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this to play too. So it's pretty awesome. Right now, Valheim is just eating my, like, I have not had a game grab me this thoroughly since Elden Ring. And I'm gonna be honest, I think this is gonna be a lot of people's game of the year. A lot of people. Like, this game is a fucking sleeper, and the story it's alright. Like, the main story is kind of alright. But the worlds that you visit each kind of have their own encapsulated, their own stories. And as, you know, a good kind of I don't even know if calling it a multiverse game like really does it justice. It's kind of more like different realities, and you're a realm walker. And I know that distinction is minimal, but it feels different. And maybe I've just been, worn down by the MCU and like the multiverse, blah blah blah. But like this isn't Spider-Man multiverse. This is like stepping through a doorway into a different reality and then a different one, and just randomly chosen time and space. But there is cohesive story here that actually goes through the first game into this game, and it's all super interesting. But it's just fun, and it definitely has some rough edges on it. Matchmaking could use a little bit, and higher tier scaling, fucking scary. But hold on, man! Like this game is so well crafted. I can't say enough good about it. It's by Gunfire Games, and like I didn't know these guys were that good. Or like this is the birth of a AAA studio. Like we're seeing like the birth of a star here, kind of thing. I'm not really sure where this came from, because like the first game was like well received and everything like that, but like this game came out with chops, man. Like this game feels truly AAA, and I don't know that one of their games have done that before. And it's so weird to see a studio just kind of emerge from the fog like that. So I can't recommend it enough. If you like but were horribly disappointed in Destiny, or pretty much a lot of any third-person shooter within the last year, I can't tell you enough. Check out this game. It's cheap. The developers are just genuinely like, this is to me how I used to look at CD Projekt Red. Right? Like this game could have been monetized to hell and back, but it's not. It's weirdly, it's not. Just the opposite. It gives you quite a lot. They're coming out with several DLCs. They're still making content. They're listening to the consumers. For Christ's sake, because they decided they weren't going to release any physical discs to make it up for people, they dropped the price $10 across all platforms, while also not raising the game to $70. So it's a $60 game. And then they're like, no, we're not going to make this $70. Instead, because we're not releasing a disc, we're going to make it $50 for a fully like. And that, like, I want to be really press here, because I don't want people looking at the $50 price tag and be like, oh, so it's a AA game. No, this shit is a fully fledged AAA game that just decided to charge you less money. It is the weirdest goddamn thing I've ever seen, and I just support it. This is not how business works. Right? Like, this is a fucking unicorn, people, and I need you to understand that.
All right. Adam, what you've been playing lately?
The Expanse, a Telltale series.
How is that?
That's pretty good. It's done by Deep Nine. That's the developers of Life is Strange. So if people like Life is Strange, which most people did, because they were like,
it's a Life is Strange. Don't nod.
No, it's a Deep Nine, because that's their selling point. It was like, hey, we did the Life is Strange.
Really?
So,
I thought it was Dotenon.
That's what I thought too.
Then that could be something else, but this group,
unless these guys were the people,
unless they change their name, because I did see a name change in their documentation, so they could have done that.
Maybe there was some of the team that made Life is Strange, but a different company.
Their main, because they were at Comic-Con and they did a whole presser.
And then the first
thing that they came out saying is, yeah, we developed Life is Strange.
What's the name of this company again? Deep Nine?
Deck Nine.
Deck Nine. I don't know, because Don't Nod is they developed Life is Strange.
Well, if you take a look up Deck Nine, and it comes up as they developed it, and that's what they said at Comic-Con. That was their selling point. Hey, this is what we've been working on. I'm looking at all
the games they developed as Life is Strange. Yeah, they have done Life is Strange, but not the originals. They've done the after ones, after the first one. Interesting.
Yeah, but it plays exactly like, meaning it doesn't have the pointer. You're moving around freely. You're exploring. You're interacting with things. It's good. It's one episode so far. It's 5 parts. So we'll have to wait and to see if it plays out better on the other ones. But so far, it's good. I enjoy it, and it's true to the source material. With the Martians and the Belters and all that.
Good stuff.
Bang Bang Racing. Been playing a lot of Bang Bang Racing.
Call me.
Are you sure that's a video game?
Yeah, it sounds like something else.
It's a top-down racer. It's a fun one playing out on Steam Deck. Next Machina. Been playing a lot of Next Machina. That's a twin stick shooter. Been doing that. The Ratchet and Clank that came out on PC.
PC on my
Yeah,
baby?
I'm playing. I had no issues on the Steam Deck. It's verified, so haven't had any issues with that. Of course, still playing my FIFA, and I think that's pretty much it. I think that.
Yeah. All right, Chris, what you been playing lately?
So I beat Security Breach Ruin, the DLC for that Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Oh, okay.
Did you get all the endings?
Yeah, I got all the endings. It wasn't that hard to get them. They have a chapter skip thing once you beat it, so you get one ending and then you could like chapter skip around, and it counts. Like if you do something in one chapter and you skip ahead, it still remembers that you collected, or if you flip the camera. It was spooky. I will say this: they did a good job with the atmosphere this time. Like the main game didn't feel as scary, not like the older games. So they did a great job with the atmosphere. Everything is rotted and collapsing and shit, and it's pretty spooky. So it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not saying like I recommend it. Just if you like that stuff, like play it. And then, like I said, I started Remnant 2. I heard good things about it. Brett recommended it, so I just started, and the ward is like the hub. I just got there. I just talked to some NPCs. I talked to the main guy, and then that's about as far as I got.
I like how you saying Brett recommended it. That was like the biggest understatement of the year.
Yeah, right where you went on that fucking half an hour rant.
Yeah, I know. He gave it very, very high praise. So I was like, and here's the thing: I regret not playing the first one, because I think I got it on sale a long time ago, and I put in the backlog. Like,
I've been playing the first one. I went back to the first one, but apparently it's a lot. Yeah, I went back over the weekend, but apparently it is hard. It's something you get one shot, you're dead, and they said that's not the case in Remnant 2. It's a little more forgiving.
Yeah, you have a health bar and you can heal. I assume the first game. I don't know. I never played the first one, so
yeah, you do. It just depending on the shot, like any enemy. And there's one that's from a distance for some reason. One shot back of the head, and my guy drops.
Yeah. Anything else?
But that's what I've been. No, that's all I got time for.
Yeah. Riku-san 1.
I'm similar to Chris. I only got time for one game because all of the other stuff that I'm doing. So gaming, I was like, I'm really only going to focus on like one specific game. My most anticipated game this year, The Legend of Heroes: Trails into Reverie. It is the 10th installment in the Trails games. It is the one piece
Riku,
of JRPGs.
It's the 10th installment in the series.
Lord. Yeah.
Shout out to Rich, man. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It is the 10th installment in the Trails games. It's fucking phenomenal. I love it. Probably my favorite turn-based gameplay system. Probably my favorite story of all time now. And in this installment in particular, showcased to me one of the best anti-heroes I've seen in fiction. So it's doing a lot of phenomenal things for me. 230 plus hours in, and I could probably make this game last for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
Or at least all the way up to Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm fucking loving it, having a blast. But I do intend on getting back to my Resident Evil playthroughs. I played 1, thought it was okay. 2, I played the 2 remake. That was phenomenal. Yes. Loved it. Gonna go to the 3 remake. I want to at least knock out the 3 remake and the 4 remake. By now to Spider-Man, somewhere around there. And in regards to classic JRPGs, I want to tackle Grandia 2 or Chrono Cross. Yeah. Grandia 2, Chrono Cross, or Wild Arms 2. Those are like the 3 that I'm like, I don't know which one of these 3 I really want to start next. It might be Grandia 2 out of the 3 of them. But yeah.
Did you play Chrono Trigger?
Yes, I played Chrono Trigger a couple years ago. Loved it. Great game.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what you been playing lately, man?
Before I jump into that, I have a couple questions for Riku. You said that you're playing the RE games. 1 and 2, is that like the OG ones on the PS1?
No, the remake. The GameCube remake. Yeah, the GameCube remake and the Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm not playing those originals. I actually tried to play the Resident Evil 3 original before hopping into the 3 remake because everyone's like, the original's better, bro. You got to play that one. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try. And I turned that on for like 2 seconds, and those tank controls turned my stomach so damn hard, I fucking turned that shit off. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. Can't do it.
You were like, what is it?
I am not even going to try to learn these tank controls. Just, nope. There's a reason we don't do this shit anymore.
So I'm surprised you got through the Resident Evil 1 remake, because I know you could change the camera angle, but it doesn't work either for me, man. I try to play it, I'm like, I can't do this.
They adjusted the controls for that one.
No,
yeah, the one...
really. Here's the problem. Here's what I face, Riga. I want to hear your thoughts, right? I can't play the tank controls because they're just too weird, right? But the thing is, that game plays best with tank controls because when you set it to just, the controls to just go wherever you want, as soon as the camera angle changes, the control changes. At least with the tank controls, they stayed consistent no matter what. So I'm like, okay, I can't play the tank controls, can't play the new controls, can't play this game.
I agree with you in regards to, that was one of my complaints when I wrote down some of my issues with Resident Evil 1. That more so is the case with most of those Capcom games during that time with its fixed camera angles. I remember I tried to play the Onimusha HD port that came out a couple of years ago, and I had the same issue with that, where I remember I was fighting an enemy, and you have to hold the direction and swing in the direction you want the character to attack in. Yeah. And as I was attacking him, both of us were moving as I was attacking, and the camera, change, right? we went into a location where the fixed camera angle needed to change, and that, if I was holding left and attacking, and and I was pushing me and him to the left, and then the camera changes, and I'm still holding that direction. Now I'm swinging in a different direction, and my attack isn't hitting the enemy anymore, and he starts hitting me, and it was just so damn annoying. And I just don't think that concept really aged well. And I felt it there, and I definitely felt it in Resident Evil, where I was trying to, I remember I was trying to run away from a specific enemy, and as I was holding the angle, the direction I wanted to run away from the enemy, and then when the camera turned, I wasn't supposed to be holding that direction anymore, because if I continue to hold that direction, that means I'll start going backwards. And I did start going backwards, and I ran right back into the enemy, and then it started biting my neck. I was like, man, fuck this goddamn shit.
All right. Anyway, Brian, continue.
Nice. The other question is, I noticed that you start watching like random films.
Yes.
I missed the tweets where you gave your thoughts on The Thing.
I think I just quote tweet myself on those. So if you see it,
you didn't like The Thing, did you?
The Thing? Oh no, I love The Thing.
Oh, okay.
The Thing is The Thing entered my top 10 favorite movies of all time now.
Okay,
I loved it.
Oh, yeah, because when I said it's a classic, you were like, you kind of had like a weird Steve Harvey gif. I'm like, oh, does he not like the Thing? I was
just trolling. I was just trolling on that one.
I have to disown you, man. Fuck,
Wait, Rico. Where is it? No, give me a second. The Thing is I'm looking at my top 20 favorite movies of all time. Yeah, it comes in at
Of
number
course-
10. So it's
Of
in my
course,
number top
Riku
10.
has a list.
Yeah, Rico,
Oh, yeah.
I find it telling that you're watching all these awesome classic movies, and they're instantly making your top 10s and 20s. I think that says a lot about
Yeah.
old movies, doesn't it? You know?
That definitely says a lot about old movies, but it also said I was gonna say it says a lot about me in regards to like I feel like I was like a casual movie watcher. I don't really care who made the movie. I didn't look up any other directors. I didn't care about. I was just like, if it was a movie that interested me or it was relatively popular, I would watch it. But even with it being relatively popular, I still missed a lot of fucking classics. Like basically,
Riku,
uh huh.
I'm curious what your thoughts, because I did see the tweets. I didn't see what you thought of them, but Terminator 1 and 2.
Love them. Terminator 1 and 2, I absolutely love them. Everyone says stop. Man, I was like, I really want to continue, but I was.
There's only two.
I know.
There's only two movies,
know.
Riku.
Same thing we get to the Aliens. Watch Aliens, and stop.
Okay, yeah.
When you get
Terminator.
to Predator, watch 1 and 2, then stop.
That's crazy. They always mess up at the third one. That's crazy.
And 2 has a little bit of an asterisk on it, you know?
You can watch Predators.
That was really good. 2010 one.
It's weird you guys keep mentioning movies that don't exist.
Yeah, right? Terminator 3, you're crazy, you know?
Well, there is no Terminator. There's only 2 Predator movies. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah,
No, I love.
I will say
with
this.
RoboCop, stop watching after 2.
I'll say this: you can watch Predators. It's not a horrible film. It's actually quite.
What number installment would that one be?
4?
Oy vey. That would be probably Predator 4.
If you don't count the Alien.
If you don't count
Predator
the Aliens
movies,
versus Predator movies, which
No,
you
don't
watch any of those.
Don't see any of those.
Don't watch any of the Aliens versus Predator. None of them. You know, terrible movies.
How many has there been?
Just 2
for those.
Still terrible.
Oh, okay.
The second one's
Okay.
even worse.
Yeah, it's somehow worse. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say you can, if you are that interested in Terminator, maybe watch Salvation, because that's the only film that actually does like the war side of it.
Yeah,
Until they fuck it up.
Christian
With
Bale.
Christian Bale.
That one,
hence maybe.
Oh God, Brian, that was the movie we've been waiting for as Terminator fans. We want to see the war in the future, right? They finally gave it to us, and they fucked it up.
That's why I say possibly, because it's like the only itch that got scratched. It's like, yes, finally you get to see like the actual war that they've been talking about. And it's like, come on, really?
Oh, they fucked it up.
Like, where's the skulls being crushed? That's what I want to see. Come on, please.
The worst one was the last one.
Oh,
Genesis.
The worst,
I
worst
didn't see
one's anything after 2, really.
yeah. Oh my God.
Freaking Arnold wants to be a protect and a nice guy and talks all the time, tries to crack jokes. It was horrible.
Yo, Riku. So what's next on the Riku Retro Power Hour?
For the movies,
And you know,
I actually did watch a movie last. It was like 2 nights ago that it was critically acclaimed, and I actually didn't like this one. This one actually made this. I don't know if I want to mention this, but I'll go ahead. I made a top 20 favorite movies of all time, but I also made a top 10 most overrated movies to me of all time.
Of course.
Oh yeah, and this list is like fucking trigger fuel if you want to hear it, because like it has a whole bunch of beloved on here, and just like, geez,
So what's the one that you watched?
The one that I watched 2 days ago that entered here and landed at number 4 on this list is it's a movie that came out in 2016 called Arrival.
Oh,
whoa, that's controversial.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
I can see why you didn't like it though.
I think it had a slow burn. It had interesting concepts, but then I felt it went nowhere.
Yeah, it's a very deep sci-fi movie. Because some people think sci-fi as like just explosions and shit. Sci-fi is really about like ideas and thoughts. That's what that movie is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted some payoff for those ideas and thoughts, and it like I said, it felt like Oh yeah, and then the aliens laugh. Like, really? The end.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm a
spoil
fan
it.
of
Yeah, go ahead.
of I'm a fan of Denis Villeneuve's movies. Arrival's a decent movie, but I thought it was overrated as well. I didn't
Yeah.
like the ending. You know, oh, the decision that was made and led to this and this and
Yeah.
this. That whole stuff.
Yeah.
That part I hated the fuck out of that one.
I like the whole language part and them breaking it
Yes.
down and the meaning behind all of that. Their relation, the main character's relationship with it. I liked all of that. I'm like, okay, it feels like this is building up to something, like some sort of. There's obviously a conflict here with the humanity and these aliens. Where is this conflict going to lead? And it felt like it didn't lead to anything satisfying for me. So. Yeah,
okay, because
that's why.
I'd never had the idea of the conflict side. I just had the idea. Again, the reason why I love the film is I like the idea. Well, it has the single trope that I absolutely love in films or in any type of media, where they start off going down a road, and then as the person that's watching it or is consuming the media, we fill in assumptions based on what we think, and then the movie doesn't dispel our assumption until the very end, and then it's like, okay, all this that you thought was right is actually wrong because this is actually how things are. So kind of like Saw. Again, we all thought that guy was dead the whole time, and then he's alive. So it's that weird twist at the end was like, okay, like we're just going to flip the table so that you can actually see what's going on. You can see the magic.
I guess I just didn't like the reveal.
I'm with Brian on this one. Like when I saw that movie, I was that meme with the mind getting blown. Like when it got revealed, like, oh shit! Like I thought the movie was fantastic before that, but then when you got to the ending, like what was really happening, I'm like, yeah, Denis, man. I think that may have been the first Denis Villeneuve movie I saw. I was like, okay, let me see what this guy's about. Then I saw the Blade Runner, that was great, and then Dune, obviously. That guy's fucking. How do you make 3 movies like that and just get to where Nolan is now? It's like, to me, those are the top tier directors right now. Go watch Oppenheimer, people. By the way, fucking awesome movie. But yeah, Riku.
I want to see that.
But yeah. Predator, Alien, and RoboCop. Do not watch after the second movie for all of those.
Oh, no.
I don't hear Riku's top 10 of disappointing films.
And Carlos, I guess for you, The Godfather. Don't watch after 2.
We're not gonna talk about The Godfather.
Some people could even go, yo, don't watch the Batman movies after The Dark Knight.
Crazy.
No, you have to watch Dark Knight Rises for the memes.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, let's get back to it. Games, man.
Okay.
Video games.
I've been playing mostly 2 games. First one was just eating my entire face in any spare time that I had. It's like I was playing on my Steam Deck until like 3 a.m. in the morning. Some days it was not funny. I'd play until my Steam Deck just died. It was that was Monster Hunter Rise. I am very surprised by that because I thought, okay, I played World and I loved World. You guys, I think I had like 600 hours.
Yeah, we all
in that
love
game.
World.
So I got the platinum in World. That's how much I loved it.
Crazy.
So I thought, okay, there's no way that this will like meet up to that because again, it's a Switch port, so it's probably like lacking certain places. Nope, it's pretty much just more Monster Hunter. It's the same formula, but somehow they just add just enough to just keep it exciting. And it's just extremely fun. So just kept on playing it, kept on doing hunts, kept on going online. The community is just still really good. Like it didn't seem to be as toxic as World was. Granted, World was not that toxic at all, but it just seemed to be less. So that's really good. I just played like crazy, and I loved every second of it. I got towards the end game where you had reached like a hunt level of 100 to fight Valtrax, and then I was like, I know that Valtrax is like the last one in the base update base game, so I don't care anymore. Like I've reached the point where I'm just fighting monsters just to fight them for the fun of it, not actually progressing. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. So yeah, definitely worth a go. And now I'm at a point where people are, I'm sure that Tony, you've heard the rumors about possibly like when Capcom had that announcement saying that they had like an unannounced game that might sell millions coming out next year. And of course, everyone's saying, oh, yes, it's Monster Hunter 6. So if that's true, then I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Capcom, what
Brian,
are you doing?
I got to talk to you about Rice. I find your reaction to it interesting because for me, I put about like a good 20 hours and I had to stop because I was very aware the entire time that I was playing a up jump switch game. It was very apparent to me and that bugged me. I couldn't let it go and I had to stop. Like it was just very like clumsy compared to World. It just felt very limited compared to World.
Yep.
And again, because I'm talking about the PC version, right? I couldn't get past it. Just felt like a Switch game to me at the end.
No, I can totally agree with that. Again, it does feel like a Switch game, and it does look like a Switch game. I know the PC version is like a lot nicer, but again, going from World to that, it's like where's the textures? Are they coming in at some point? You know, it's like. So yeah,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
But if you can get past that, then again, you just have more Monster Hunter. So it's again, if you played it, you know the formula, and that's what gives you. So I can't really be mad at that, and I'm not mad. It is fun, you know. Got to try out some new weapons that I dropped in World. So in World, I started off as like a longsword main because obviously everyone else does, and then I dropped longsword and switched to the glaive and did gun lance because gun lance is fun. So I thought, okay, in Rise, I'll just stick to the longsword. I'll stick to like one weapon, and that's it. So I went through the whole game longsword, and yeah, you really do get a nice payoff if you just stick to one weapon, and you learn like the intricacies and the matchups and what moves are safe, what moves are not safe, and what monsters can hit you 3 times in your fucking combo. Oh yeah,
Glaive is life. Glaive is glory.
Glaive is great fun, I'm not gonna lie, but I just heard that they did the glaive wrong in they just screwed over their glaive in Rise, and it just didn't get anything useful added, whereas everything else got like some cool counters and stuff. So I was like,
how dare they?
Yeah, they kind of like don't care about the glaive in Rise. It's very strange. Like I think its new attack was you can call back your Kinsect, and it's like, oh wow.
That's
fun.
Yay. Oh man, I hope it's better by the next one.
Yeah, it's like all of those got new counters and all sorts, you know, like what was it? The Switch Act's got like a counter. Well, everything else got a counter. The bloody Gunlance got like a boost thing where you can literally just become like a jet engine and boost around the map.
Nice.
Whereas the glaive, you could recall your Kinsect. It's like, really? Like, come on. Like, how's that on the same?
I feel like we could do that already.
I don't know, but either way,
I mean, you can, but maybe they did it in a new way.
Maybe, because I was a Kinsect glaive user as well in Worlds, and I vividly remember being able to call back my little bug motherfucker anytime I wanted to.
Although I can't agree. Like I don't think that Kinsect glaive is like the top of their list, because even in Worlds, some of the monsters you're like, I have to hit where? Like, there's like a very small spot. Like, you know how hard it is to get all 3 charges on this? But like, I can't find this motherfucker's belly. He doesn't have a belly.
Yeah, that was the struggle, just to get your triple buff good to go before you actually get in there to do some damage.
And then that's why I kind of went to Gunlance, because I'm like, I'm just getting really tired of spending like the first 15 seconds of a fight just like circle strafing the monster and then just hitting triangle. It's like, nope, missed again, nope, missed again, nope, missed again. There we go. That's one. And now the next buff.
Well, I mean, it also sounds like Gunlance turned you into a fucking Gundam this time.
Yeah, Gunlance is ridiculous. Like, people were memeing saying that they were doing that Captain Phillips meme of, look at me, I am the Pistol Geese now, because they just had power just to fly around and bomb everything. It's like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, loved it. A great soundtrack. I put a few songs on my playlist because I have to. And then from there, as I mentioned, Exoprimal. Now, this is actually a really interesting game because at first I well, when I first seen the trailer, obviously I had my thoughts of where the hell's Dino Crisis, Capcom, how on earth can you do this?
Is this the dinosaur game?
Yeah,
Yes.
the sci-fi dinosaur.
Okay, I'm curious to hear what Brian. I'm pulling up the
Brett,
stool.
you haven't missed any shows. We literally said, like, we were asked, have you guys played Exoprimal? And our answer was no, but it looks like a Brian game. And apparently Brian was listening to the show, playing the game while listening to that segment. Fucking hilarious.
Like a fifth wall break.
Yeah.
You have no idea. It spooks me out. You know,
Like,
like
what?
Tony reached through space and times somehow. So yeah, okay. First time I seen it, I'm like, okay, like Capcom, this is not Down Crisis. What are you doing? And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't need this game. Like, I'm just going to ignore it. And then it came out, and some people were like, okay, it's not that bad. It's actually okay. You know, it's interesting mechanics. So I'm like, okay, it's on Game Pass. I need something to like suck me away from Monster Hunter Rise because, again, suck my face. So I'm like, okay, I'll check out Exoprimal. I'll have a look. So I played it for like the first 5 hours, and I was like, okay, I don't see anything about this game. Like, it was fun for like the first hour or so, but now it's just the same thing again for like 4 hours after, and it's like where is the hook that people are talking about? And then everyone kept on saying it gets good after like level 10. And it's like, I really hate when people say that about games. Where it's like, oh yeah, it gets good after like X amount. It's
After
like
25 hours, it gets good. You know,
like games should be good by at least 3 hours. Like if it takes more than 3 hours for your game to get good, then problems, in my opinion. So I'm like,
Like,
okay,
I know a lot of people that can't make it through the Skyrim wagon ride.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I will persevere, and of course I'll listen to the podcast. I heard Richard's comments saying about how he passed on it and all sorts. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll take that into consideration. But again, let me just wait until like past level 10 and see how it changes. If it changes that much, then I'll reconsider. If not, then whatever. You know, it's on Game Pass, nothing lost. Whatever. Well, my time lost, but there's no money lost. That's fine. So get level 10, and it opens up one of the first, like, sort of, not raids, but kind of raids, because how the game works is like a 5v5 PvE thing, it's like a 5-on-5 time trial, let's say. So you have two teams on the same map at the same time. Well, sorry, on the same map, trying to complete the five objectives, or the X many objectives, as fast as possible. And then from there, it can split into one of two main things. So the end part, so after both teams have completed their objectives, then they kind of get merged on like the same map, and then they can either do like a PvP thing or a PvE thing. So the PvP thing is kind of like that thing in Overwatch where you have like the payload and then just wait until like it moves, or you get like a domination, so you get like 3 control points and then you kind of like sit on them and then you get points. Or there's like a PvP one where it's more objectives, and the first person to complete all objectives wins. So that's kind of how the main game works, or the main loop, which again gets boring after the first hour because you can get used to it. But after level 10, you get like the first raid where instead of doing like 5 versus 5 at the end, they kind of just say, okay, let's put all 10 players in one room together and then just throw a bunch of dinos at them. And that's where things actually got fun, because then it's like, okay, you get certain types of restrictions. So you get one where it's like, okay, there's only 30 feints that you can have. After that, there's no more respawns. And if everyone dies, then everyone loses. So that's fun. You get one where there's no respawns. So if you go down, then you have to be revived. And once everyone's gone down, then obviously everyone's lost. And you get like some crazy objectives, like, okay, fight 1,000 of these, fight 2 T-Rexes at the same time or something. So that was fun. But then after that, you kind of get put in like the same rotation of just standard gameplay loop. And that's when things took a weird turn for me, because I started to actually enjoy it, but then I wasn't enjoying the gameplay itself. I was enjoying more just the teamwork and trying to get a good composition for the team and strategizing my build to complement everyone else's build. that's where I was having the fun, not the actual shooting of the dinos. So I was like, okay, I can understand now, because like it's more of a build craft game now than actual game. So I was enjoying that, but then I reached a point now where it's just not doing enough to keep me on board, because it's just the same repetitive stuff, but post level 10, you just get more different types of dinos. So you get your T-Rexes, your Stegosauruses, but from there on in, they kind of just don't do anything. It's just kind of like, hey, he's a big dino with lots of health pool. Okay, that's fine, but doesn't do anything. Oh, here's a Stegosaurus. It cancels out your powers, so you can't use any of them. Okay, that kind of forces you to play slightly differently, but even then, it's not that different, because you still have your main... But you still have one ability that you can use, and if you use that well, then you can take out the Stegosaurus quite fast. So, I don't know. It's a game where I started off not liking it, and then liked it, and now I'm back to not liking it at the moment. And I've heard that, like, towards the end game, you get, like, these, like, raids that change every week. But from what I've seen, since I'm not quite at end game just yet, and I missed the time frame, the raid itself is simply just a time trial where the top X people are put on the leaderboards, and that's it. And it's the same monsters you run through every single time. So the raid is pretty much everyone just trying to do that as fast as possible, and that's it. So I'm like, is that really fun? You know, like I watch someone play it, and it's like it's just defense. You know, you go to a point, the game throws monsters at you, and then you try and kill them as fast as possible, and that's all it is. So it has some cool ideas, I'm not gonna lie, but it seems to be just lacking stuff to keep people invested long term, in my opinion. Like even with the exosuits, you know, I think in total there's like 10 of them. So again, you get your usual DPS, tanks, and healers and whatnot. So again, composition in a 5-person team, quite important. But then the exosuits themselves, they tend to have, I think, 4 abilities, including the ultimates. And each ability can have like a modifier on it, and you can have up to 3 modifiers. So you can modify how certain abilities work. But even then, that means that you don't really get many build varieties, because if you have one ability that can have 2 variants, which are definitely better than the original, then at maximum, you have 6 different builds you can have, and that's if it's good. So some builds are more geared towards PvP, some are geared towards PvE. So I don't know, it's just lacking stuff. Like if it was, instead of doing 2 variants, they did like 4 variants. So that way you can have like lots of builds and different ideas going on. Then yeah, that's fine. That's great, you know. And the monsters themselves, or the dinosaurs, if they had more different types of them, then that'd be great. Because for the most part, you just get raptors, which just swarm you. You get the Pachycephalosauruses, Jesus Christ, which just ram you. Stegosaurus, and then Triceratops and T-Rex. And that's mostly it. And the flying ones. And that's all you get. And you get like the variants of them, which are kind of bullshit. But it's really cool ideas, but it's just not enough, in my opinion. So I think I'm willing to side on the ear of Richard here, where I'm saying, you know what, you don't have to play this game. I'm willing to say that you don't have to play this game. You can pick it up if it's on sale and whatnot, but then if the community is still... Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if the community is there or not. You get bots to fill out the 5 people, so don't worry about that. So yeah, I recommend getting something else, in my opinion.
Well, I guess
Join us,
my
Brian.
instincts were right about that game then. I was like, I don't know about this.
Mm-hmm. So that means that I just need to find something else until Starfield comes out. So yes, I know Remnant 2's there, Brett, but the thing is, I don't want to dive into it because Starfield is next month. Pretty much, yeah, 1 month from now. So I can't dive into anything too deep because I want to enjoy my Starfield. Like I want to be there day one on Starfield.
No, I definitely thought of you when I played because I was playing with somebody and they put out a sword and they're just like, okay, so this should just turn into Warframe, huh? And I'm like, oh god damn it.
So yeah, so who knows? I'll probably just look at something for the time being. Again, there's plenty of stuff to play, but like right now, I'm just kind of waiting for Starfield. It's like, okay, let's see Starfield because again, after that E3 thing that they had, or the E3, the Summer Games Fest thing that they had, that half an hour thing at the end.
Yeah, the not E3.
I was sold on that. I was like, okay, you got me now. Like this is like what I'm looking for in terms of next gen, where you're just like, okay, you know what, you can do this thing now. Okay, you want to customize your ship, you can do that. You want to go outside and fly in space, you can do that. You get attacked by people, okay, you can destroy them, or you can board their ships. And then when he said that you can board their ships, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but can you sell them? And then he's like, yeah, you can just take their ship for your own, and it's your ship, or you can sell it. I'm like, God damn it, that's good. I like that. You know, like this is what I'm looking for in games where you just do so much more stuff than your regular. Oh, it's an enemy ship. I'll shoot it. It's dead at the end. You know, it's like I want that ability where, like in RPGs, where if I down a person, I can pick up their armor and wear them. You know, not the person, but the armor.
Why not? Right? Wear their skin like a
you
fucking
know what?
armor. Why not? You know.
Yeah, use the skulls as a cup. You know.
Shit, you play Monster Hunter, you do that already.
Yeah, you are.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I see that I'm like, okay, this is what I want from games. Like to me, that's next gen. You know, Spider-Man, fine. You know, you can have that, but to me, no, this is next gen. So yeah, I want to be there on day one on Starfield. So nothing too chunky.
Brian, since we haven't had you on in a while, what did you think of that Spider-Man demo?
It was exactly what I would expect from a Spider-Man demo. It's very Sony demo-esque in that it's very safe, very nothing exciting, lots of cinematic action pieces. The gameplay itself is kind of limited, just showing off, okay, this is all the cool cinematics that you have. I honestly kind of fell asleep when they're doing the chase scene above the water. It's like, okay. Like, again, it looks flashy, don't get me wrong, but the problem with me is I'm immune to flashy, you know. I am practically blind. Flashiness does not affect me at all. So I was like, yeah, it looks fun, but at the same time I know how scripted this is. Like to me, it just felt like the same thing as the Uncharted 2 train sequence. It's just like, okay, we're just doing this again but with Spider-Man characters. Again, if you love that stuff, fine. But to me, like peak, and I'll say this again and again, like the peak of cinematic gameplay for me was, I think, Uncharted 2.
Yeah, 2.
When you're in, or maybe 1, either 1 or 2. I think it's 1. Actually, sorry.
Really?
I don't. Yeah.
No,
someone will know.
Yeah, let's see the sequence.
The sequence is when you jump inside a building and someone hits it with like a rocket launcher, and then the building like starts to fall over, and then you're in there. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and you're in the falling building as guys are like dropping in, so you have to kind of like fight the
and like
guys
the tables and the chairs are like falling as well.
Exactly.
What a great
and
sequence.
See, to me, that is what I'm yearning for. It's like, give me more of that. Because that stuff, you can't really predict what's going to happen. Because again, sometimes the chair will knock out a guy. Sometimes the chair will knock you out. It feels more organic than just, oh yeah, I'm sweeping through like the city, swinging through the action piece. You know, doesn't feel like I'll be doing much of actual gameplay. It just feels like more I'll just be holding a button to make the thing happen. And the thing that really, I guess, it unsold me on the whole thing was that one sequence where I think Miles, during the chase, there's a point where there's like a random train car, and then Miles like flies through that, and the way he just kind of like was funneled into the empty train was kind of just like, it didn't feel like the person had to time it right in order to do that. It felt like there's like a massive zone.
Have to get into the location and hit the button, and then they'll just like
it felt like there's like a location where like you just randomly enter like this nebulous zone around it, and if you're near it, then you just get sucked in. So it's like, where's the skill of that? Again, I platinum Just Cause 3, so I know that if you really want to swing between things, you have to be incredibly precise, and timing matters so much. So seeing that was kind of like, it's kind of like almost like a big middle finger. It's like, hey, you know what? Although you are this precise in Just Cause, in Spider-Man, you don't have to be, because the game will do it for you. And I was like, nah, I don't need that. I'm good. But chances are I will play it because, again, the first question I asked Tony when he finished the first Spider-Man game was, is the symbiote suit in this game? He said no. And then he said, maybe the next one. So hence, yeah.
Yeah, we
So,
definitely
and it
have
is.
your answer to that one, you know?
Again, I'm a massive Venom fan, so I'll watch the movies, no matter how bad they are. I'll play the games, whatever, I don't mind.
I'm Venom.
But chances are it'll probably be in 2 years, like towards the end of the PS5 life cycle.
When it comes to PC.
Probably not. I'll probably just try and get it for the platinum.
Fair
again,
enough.
you guys said it's an easy platinum, so hey, why not?
Yeah, seems fair to me. All right, people, we are done here. Another good show. We actually have the full crew tonight. This is good. It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
We have the full crew plus the OG crew.
Yes. That's it, man. The real throwdowns, you know. Good stuff. All right. Riku, I want to thank you for being on as usual. Again, Riku always has the open door policy. If he wants to be on, he just needs to tell me, Tony, I want to be on. That's it. That's all it takes. You know. But yeah, man. If people want to follow you, where can they follow you?
At RikuSun1 on Twitter. See all the crazy stuff I post on there.
What's Twitter?
Oh, yeah, you forgot. Yes, there's no longer Twitter. At RikuSun1 on X. X gonna give it to you, and so will I, in regards to my post. I heard they're changing it too. It's not a tweet and a retweet anymore.
Yeah,
it's a
X
post
thing.
and a repost.
No, that's the next change. Because originally he said they had a whole he listed it. X saying.
Oh, I got to see that thing.
And then he changed it. Now it's post. That doesn't make any
crazy.
sense.
He's just trying to. He's definitely building this as he goes.
When you got money like that, you don't give a fuck. You know.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck money.
It's crazy, man. All right, couple of things to plug. Make sure you check out our Throwdown Interviews episode with Mr. Khalif Adams. That is up on YouTube now, and the audio version of that will be posted over the weekend, which will be good. We're going to have another Throwdown Interviews for you soon. Good serious from us on Throwdown, you know. Also go buy Jordan Minor's Video Game of the Year. I am featured in it. Actual physical book, which is... I'm very proud of that. So go check that book out.
Physical.
Yeah, physical, man. If you know when the North Koreans launch an EMP at us and shit, and all my work is undone, that'll still be around. You know, just see if who remembers that reference that I just made. You know,
or well, you know, there could be the other version of like essentially it destroys the world, and then you know you have all the time in the world.
Yeah,
but then your glasses break.
Yeah.
Or we get a day after tomorrow scenario, and they use the books to fuel the fire, people can stay warm. So yeah,
you know, so yeah, go check out all that stuff. Adam, what's going on with I Am Negan's?
Nothing yet. We're just waiting for the Daryl Dixon. So a few more weeks. And Daryl Dixon, what a horrible name. Horrible.
Daryl Dixon.
Yeah, I hate it.
All right, do we have anything else to plug around here?
Yes. I mean, I'm probably the last I'm going to be plugging this, but yes, if you like Ninja Turtles and you like the 2003 show, it is fully available on DVD. All episodes plus the.
My favorite Ninja Turtles adaptation. Let's go.
Turtles Forever are all on DVD right now. That was the show that I worked on for like. Oh man, it was probably.
Wait, is the 2003 version called Turtles Forever?
No, it's called. It's just called 2003.
Just TMT.
Because the last movie that we did, that ended the series was called Turtles Forever. So, yeah, all of that is on. This is the first time for a lot of these episodes that have never been released on DVD. You know, back in the day when I worked on the show, we were a little bit spotty and we didn't put out everything and we were sort of cut short in 2009 when we were trying to release the whole series. But now it's all out for your enjoyment, and you can get it on Amazon right now.
TMNT 2003. You said
Yep. Yeah, TMNT
I can get
2003
it all on,
Ultimate Collection. It's you can find it on Amazon right now. So there you go. Dude.
Nice.
Just in time
Wait,
for
only
the
on
release
DVD,
of
not
that
Blu-ray?
new movie.
Yeah, no Blu-ray.
No Blu-ray. I mean,
damn.
it's a standard definition
No
show.
Blu-ray yet, or no Blu-ray ever?
Well, I
Or
don't know.
we don't
I mean,
know.
I don't. You know, it all really. I'll say this to people: it all really depends on how well it does. If it does really well, maybe Paramount will go into their archives and dig up our old beta tapes and do a nice, a pretty scan of them. But as of now, it's just the whatever assets they put on their Paramount Plus, just put onto DVDs. So, is what it is. But the thing is, it's as of now, it is the only version of Turtles that you can get of the 2003 show you can get on digital media right now. So
Yeah.
it's something.
Cool.
All right, people, we are done here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. You can also find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. That's 2 words, Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you have been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday to Adam.
Happy
for
birthday,
real.
Adam. Wait, why are you bothering to do that with your voices, man?
Yeah, hold on. Maybe just do a
Yeah, yo.
There you go. All right. Brett Murdoch.
Those
Riku's son, one, the only one.
Peace out, people.
And, of course, Brian Manjoma.
They said it can only be done on a PS5 SSD. It turns out that was a lie.
Oh, man. All right, people. Perfect.
that was a good one.
We will see you on Sunday. Later.
Peace.
Laters.
Deuces.